I'm not actually related to anyone in my family. I was switched at birth. My name is Lauren, and I'm 32 years old. 6 months ago, I found out that I'm not biologically related to anyone in my family. Not my parents, not my siblings, not a single person I've called family for my entire life. A hospital switched me with another baby 32 years ago. I was raised by the wrong family, and the family who raised the baby that was supposed to be mine, they knew. They've known for years, and they said nothing. This is the story of how a kidney transplant destroyed my entire understanding of who I am. The diagnosis. It started with fatigue, the kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. I'd wake up exhausted, drag myself through work, come home and collapse. Then came the swelling, my ankles, my hands, my face. I looked puffy all the time. My clothes stopped fitting right. I went to my doctor thinking maybe I had a thyroid problem or something simple. She ran blood tests. Called me back the same day. Lauren, your kidney function is extremely low. I'm referring you to a nephrologist immediately. Within a week, I was sitting in a specialist's office learning that both my kidneys were failing. Stage 4 kidney disease. Cause unknown. Probably genetic. You're going to need a transplant, the nephrologist said, sooner rather than later. Have you thought about living donors? Family members are usually the best match. I called my mom from the parking lot. They say I need a kidney transplant. Can you and Dad get tested? And maybe Ryan and Meg? Ryan is my older brother, 35. Meg is my younger sister, 28. We're all close. Or we were. Of course, honey, my mom said. We'll all get tested, don't worry. Someone will match. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? We're family. My whole family went in for compatibility testing within the week. Mom, Dad, Ryan, Meg, even Meg's husband offered to get tested. The transplant coordinator explained the process. They'd test blood type first, then tissue typing, then cross-matching. Family members have the best chance of being compatible. Siblings especially, she said. You have a 1 in 4 chance of being a perfect match with a sibling. With 2 siblings, my odds seemed good. 2 weeks later, the coordinator called me back in, alone. She asked me to sit down. Lauren, we've gotten all the test results back. And who's the best match? She looked uncomfortable. That's what I need to talk to you about. None of your family members are compatible. None of them? What about blood type? The issue is more fundamental than compatibility. Lauren, none of your family members are blood relatives. I laughed. That's impossible. Of course they're my blood relatives. The testing shows no genetic relationship between you and any of the 4 people tested. Not your parents, not your siblings. There has to be a mistake. Run the tests again. We ran them twice. I'm sorry, Lauren. There's no genetic relationship. My brain couldn't process what she was saying. So you're telling me I'm adopted? That would be one explanation. Have your parents ever mentioned adoption? Never. They have photos of my mom pregnant with me. I have a birth certificate. I look like my dad. Sometimes people see resemblances that aren't actually there. Lauren, I think you need to talk to your parents. There's something they haven't told you. I drove to my parents' house in a daze. They live 20 minutes away in the same house I grew up in. I walked in without knocking like I always do. Lauren, we weren't expecting you, my mom said. She was making dinner. My dad was reading the paper at the kitchen table. Normal. Everything looked normal. We need to talk. Now. They both looked at me. My dad folded his newspaper. The transplant center called me in today. They said none of you are compatible. They said none of you are related to me at all, genetically. My mother's face went white. She sat down hard in a chair. My father stood up. Lauren, am I adopted? Is that what you've been hiding from me for 32 years? My parents looked at each other. Some kind of silent communication passed between them. You're not adopted, my dad said finally. Then how am I not genetically related to you? Another long silence. We've always meant to tell you, my mom said. Her voice was shaking. But we didn't know how. And then so much time passed, and it felt like it was too late. Tell me what? There was a mistake at the hospital. When you were born. We didn't find out until you were 3 years old. The room tilted. What kind of mistake? They switched you with another baby. In the nursery. You went home with us, and our biological daughter went home with another family. I sat down. I had to sit down, or I was going to fall down. You're telling me I was switched at birth? Yes, my mother whispered. And you've known since I was 3? Yes. How? How did you find out? My dad took over. There was a mix-up with medical records. Your pediatrician noticed some inconsistencies. Blood type didn't match what was on your birth records. He suggested genetic testing. That's when we found out. And you never told me. You were 3 years old. How do you tell a 3-year-old that she's not really your biological child? We decided to wait until you were older. I'm 32. I know. Every year we said we'd tell you. Every year we chickened out. What about the other family? The one who has your biological daughter? Silence. Mom, Dad, what about the other family? We found them, my mom said, when you were 3, after we found out about the switch. And we met them, once. They have our biological daughter. Her name is Sophie. Sophie. My parents' real daughter has a name, Sophie. What happened at that meeting? We talked about what to do, about whether to tell you girls, about whether to switch you back. And you decided to just pretend it never happened? We decided that switching you back would be traumatic. You were 3. You knew us as your parents. Sophie knew them as her parents. We agreed that it was better for everyone to just continue as we were. Everyone except me. I didn't get a choice. You were 3 years old. I'm not 3 anymore. I'm 32 and I need a kidney transplant, and I just found out my entire life is a lie. I was shouting. I never shout at my parents. My mom started crying. I'm so sorry. We thought we were protecting you. Protecting me from what? From knowing the truth? From the confusion and pain of finding out you were switched, from having to navigate 2 families, from an identity crisis. Well, I'm having an identity crisis now. Who am I? Who are my real parents? Do I have real siblings? We're your real parents, my dad said firmly. We raised you. We love you. Biology doesn't change that. Biology is literally the only thing that matters right now because I need a kidney and none of you can give me one. That shut them up. I need to know everything. I need to know about the other family. I need to meet Sophie. I need to meet my biological parents. Lauren, you don't get to decide this anymore. You've had 32 years to tell me the truth. Now I'm taking control. Give me their contact information. My dad pulled out his phone, scrolled through contacts. James and Patricia Reynolds. They live about 40 minutes from here. You've had their contact information this whole time? We've kept in touch, loosely. Christmas cards, updates. You've been exchanging Christmas cards with my biological family and never told me? It wasn't like that. What was it like then? Neither of them had an answer. I took a photo of the contact information on my dad's phone. I'm going to call them, I'm going to meet them, and I'm going to meet Sophie. Please don't be angry with us, my mom said. I'm so far past angry, I don't even have words for it. I left. Drove home. Sat in my car in my driveway for an hour trying to process what I just learned. Everything I knew about myself was wrong. My parents weren't my parents. My siblings weren't my siblings. I had a whole other family out there I'd never met. A biological mother and father, possibly biological siblings. And somewhere out there was Sophie, the daughter my parents were supposed to have. The one they gave up because it was easier to just keep the wrong babies. The phone call I waited 2 days before calling. I needed time to process, to think about what I wanted to say. Finally, on a Thursday evening, I dialed the number. A woman answered. Hello? Is this Patricia Reynolds? Yes, this is Patricia. Who's calling? My name is Lauren. I don't know if you know who I am, but... Oh my God, Lauren. Yes, I know who you are. Her voice changed completely, emotional, shaky. I just found out about the switch, about everything. You didn't know? All this time, you didn't know? No, my parents never told me. I only found out because I need a kidney transplant and none of my family matched. A kidney transplant? Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I want to meet you and James and Sophie, if that's okay. Of course it's okay. We've wanted to meet you for so long. We've thought about you every single day. Can I ask you something? Anything. Did you know? When did you find out about the switch? A long pause. We found out when you were 3. Same as your parents. And you never reached out? Never tried to contact me? We met with your parents. We talked about it. We all agreed that it was better not to disrupt your lives. But you knew. All this time, you knew I existed, and you never tried to find me? It wasn't like that. We respected the agreement. We thought it was what was best for you. Did Sophie know? Does she know? Another pause, longer this time. Patricia, does Sophie know she was switched at birth? Yes, she knows. We told her when she was 16. My stomach dropped. She's known for 16 years? We thought she was old enough to handle the information at that age. We wanted her to know the truth. So she's known about me this whole time. Yes. Has she ever wanted to meet me? Very much. She's asked about you constantly, but we told her we had to respect the agreement with your parents. The agreement that I never agreed to because no one told me any of this? I know, you're right. I'm so sorry, Lauren. We should have done things differently. Can I meet you, all of you? Absolutely. When? As soon as possible. How about this weekend? Saturday? You could come to our house, meet everyone. Okay, Saturday. She gave me her address. We hung up. I sat on my couch holding my phone, shaking. Sophie knew about me. She'd known for 16 years. While I was living my life completely ignorant, she was out there somewhere knowing she had a biological sister she'd never met. Meeting the Reynolds family Saturday came. I drove 40 minutes to a nice suburban neighborhood. Found the address. Sat in my car outside for 10 minutes trying to work up the courage to go in. Finally, I walked up to the door. Rang the bell. A woman answered. 50s, blonde hair going gray, kind face. She looked at me and her eyes filled with tears. Lauren, oh my God, you look so much like James. I didn't know what to say to that. Come in, everyone's here. I walked into a living room where 3 people were sitting. A man who must be James, a young woman who must be Sophie, and a teenage boy I didn't know about. This is James, my husband, Patricia said. And this is Sophie, and that's our son Michael. He's 15. I have a biological brother. I didn't even know I had a biological brother. Hi, I said. It was all I could manage. Sophie stood up. She looked like me. Same height, same build, same nose. It was like looking in a mirror. I can't believe you're really here, she said. I've waited so long to meet you. I just found out about all of this a week ago. I know. Patricia told me. I'm so sorry you didn't know. We stood there staring at each other. 2 women who should have been raised as sisters but were raised by different families instead. James spoke up. Please sit down. Can we get you something to drink? Coffee? Water? Water would be good. We sat. Patricia brought water. Everyone looked at me like I was some kind of miracle. I don't really know where to start, I said. We have so many questions, Patricia said. We've wondered about you your whole life, what you were like, what you were doing, if you were happy. I had a good childhood. My parents love me. I have a brother and sister. I mean, they're not biologically my siblings, but they're my siblings. Of course they are, James said. We never wanted to take that away from you. But you took away my choice, all of you. You decided when I was 3 years old that I would never know the truth. Silence. You're right, James said. We made that decision. We thought it was the right one at the time. Looking back, maybe it wasn't. Sophie got to know. She's known since she was 16. That was different, Patricia said. Sophie started asking questions about genetics, about family medical history. We realized we couldn't keep lying to her. But you could keep lying to me. We weren't lying to you. We weren't in contact with you. You could have been. You had my parents' contact information. You could have reached out at any time. We had an agreement I never made. My voice was rising again. I took a breath, tried to calm down. I'm sorry. I'm just angry at everyone. At the hospital for switching us. At our parents for hiding it. At all of you for going along with it. Your anger is completely valid, James said quietly. We robbed you of the choice to know your biological family. That was wrong. At least he was being honest. Sophie spoke up. I know this is overwhelming, but I want you to know that I've always wanted to meet you. I've thought about you so much, wondered what you were like, if we'd get along. I didn't even know you existed until 6 days ago. I know, and that's so unfair. I'm sorry. We talked for 2 hours. They asked about my life, my job, accountant, my relationships, single, my hobbies, reading, hiking. Normal getting to know you questions that felt surreal given the circumstances. I asked about Sophie's life. She's 32 like me. She's a teacher. Married with a 1-year-old daughter. My biological niece that I didn't know existed. Michael is quiet but sweet. He kept looking at me like he couldn't quite believe I was real. Do I look like you? I asked James at one point. You look exactly like my mother, he said. She passed away 5 years ago, but you could be her twin. I have a biological grandmother I'll never meet. She looked like me, or I look like her. Can I ask about medical history? I said. That's actually why this all came out. I need a kidney transplant. Oh, honey, Patricia said. She looked genuinely distressed. Both James and I have excellent kidney function. We've been tested before as potential donors for other people. We'd be happy to get tested to see if we're compatible with you. Really? Of course, you're our biological daughter. If we can help you, we will. Our biological daughter. She said it so easily, like it was just a fact, which it was. But hearing it out loud felt strange. I can get tested too, Sophie said. And Michael, right, Michael? Yeah, definitely, the kid said. These people I just met were offering to donate organs to me. Meanwhile, my legal family couldn't do anything because we shared no DNA. Thank you, that means a lot. We exchanged phone numbers, made plans to meet again. I left their house feeling like I'd stepped into an alternate universe. The other Sophie. 3 days later, I met my parents' biological daughter, the daughter they were supposed to raise, the one they gave up on because it was easier. We met at a coffee shop, neutral territory. I got there first, ordered a coffee I was too nervous to drink, sat by the window. Then she walked in, and I understood why my parents had never fought harder to get her back. She didn't look like them. She didn't look like Ryan or Meg. She looked like Patricia and James, like their family. If you put us side by side with our respective families, no one would ever question which belonged where. We looked like the families we'd been raised by, not the families we were born into. Lauren? She said. Sophie. We hugged awkwardly, sat down. This is so weird, she said. That's an understatement. I've known about you my whole life, well, since I was 16, but I've always known I was switched. I just didn't know details until I was older. What did they tell you when you were 16? That there had been a hospital mix-up, that I had a biological family out there, that I had a biological sister. So they showed me photos your parents had sent over the years. They sent photos? Christmas cards mostly, updates, you graduating high school, college, stuff like that. My parents had been sending photos of me to this family for years, keeping them updated on my life, while telling me nothing. Did you ever want to meet me? I asked. All the time. I begged my parents to reach out, but they said there was an agreement that your parents wanted you protected from the truth. Protected. That's what everyone keeps saying, like the truth is something dangerous. I get why you're angry. Do you? Because you've known for 16 years. You had time to process. I've had a week. You're right, I'm sorry. We sat in silence for a moment. Can I ask you something? I said. Do you ever feel like you're with the wrong family? Like you should have been raised by my parents? She thought about it. Sometimes, especially when I was younger, I'd look at photos of your family and think about what it would have been like to be part of that. But I love my parents. They raised me. They're my real parents, even if we're not genetically related. That's how I feel about my family. They're my real family. But now I also have this biological family I'm supposed to somehow incorporate into my life. You don't have to incorporate them if you don't want to. But they're offering to donate a kidney. How do I say no to that? You don't have to say no. You can accept their help and still keep your distance emotionally. Is that what you're doing with my parents? Keeping your distance? I've never met them. They've never reached out. That surprised me. Never? Never. The photos and cards were always one way, from them to my parents. My parents sent updates back, but your parents never asked to meet me. My parents had photos of Sophie, had updates on her life, but never once tried to meet their biological daughter. Do you want to meet them? I asked. I don't know. Maybe? It feels complicated. Everything about this is complicated. We talked for another hour. She told me about her daughter, Emma, about her husband, about her teaching job, normal life stuff, and I realized that we were strangers. Yes, we shared DNA. Yes, we'd both been switched at birth, but we had nothing else in common. We were raised by different families, in different ways, and we were fundamentally different people. Biology doesn't make you family. Time and love and shared experiences do. The transplant decision. 2 weeks later, all 4 members of the Reynolds family had been tested. Patricia, James, Sophie, and Michael. The transplant coordinator called me with the results. We have a match. Patricia Reynolds is highly compatible. She's willing to donate. My biological mother wanted to give me her kidney. There's something you should know, the coordinator said. This is a very good match, better than average for even close relatives. Patricia's kidney has an excellent chance of working well for you. What do I need to do? You need to decide if you want to accept, and then we schedule surgery. We're looking at 6 to 8 weeks out. I thanked her and hung up. Then I called my mom, my legal mom, the one who raised me. Patricia Reynolds is a match, I said. She wants to donate. Silence on the other end of the line. Mom? That's wonderful, honey. That's such good news. She didn't sound like it was good news. She sounded sad. Are you okay? I just wish it could have been me. I wish I could be the one to save you. You did save me. You raised me. You loved me. You're my mom. But I can't give you a kidney, and she can because she's your biological mother. She's my biological mother. You're my actual mother. There's a difference. Is there? Because you've been spending a lot of time with them lately. I had been. The Reynolds family had welcomed me with open arms, invited me to dinners, included me in family events, made space for me in their lives. My legal family had been distant, awkward, like they were afraid I'd leave them for my biological family. I'm not replacing you, I said. I'm just getting to know them. But you like them. I do, but I love you. That doesn't change. Everything has changed, Lauren. You know that. She was right. Everything had changed. My entire understanding of my identity had shifted. I was Lauren Reynolds biologically, Lauren Harris legally. Somewhere in between, I was just Lauren, trying to figure out who that meant I was supposed to be. I'm going to accept Patricia's kidney. I said, I need to live, and she's offering me that chance. I know. I understand. I want you to accept it. But I'm scared. Scared that you'll bond with her. Scared that you'll realize your biological family is better than us. Scared that I'm going to lose my daughter. You're not going to lose me. I promise. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm being selfish. You're sick and I'm making it about me. It's okay to have feelings about this. It's complicated for everyone. We talked for a while longer. Made plans for me to come to dinner that weekend. Tried to reassure each other that our relationship would survive this, but I wasn't sure it would. Too much had been broken. Too many lies revealed. Too much trust lost. The surgery. The surgery was scheduled for 6 weeks out. Both Patricia and I had to go through extensive medical and psychological evaluations. The psychological evaluation was harder than the physical one. How do you feel about accepting a kidney from your biological mother? The therapist asked. Grateful. Confused. Guilty. Guilty why? Because my legal mom can't do this for me, and I think it hurts her that Patricia can. Do you feel like accepting this kidney means choosing one mother over the other? Sometimes. Yes, even though I know that's not logical. It's not about logic. It's about emotion. You're allowed to have complicated feelings. Patricia had her own evaluation. Later, she told me what she'd said. They asked if I was doing this out of obligation or genuine desire to help. I told them both. I feel obligated because you're my biological daughter, but I also genuinely want to help because you're a person who needs help and I'm in a position to give it. That's honest. I'm trying to be honest about all of this. We've had enough secrets and lies. The weeks leading up to surgery were strange. I was spending time with both families, trying to balance relationships, trying to make everyone feel valued. It was exhausting. My brother Ryan pulled me aside one day. Are you gonna leave us? For them? I'm not leaving anyone. I'm just adding more people to my life. But they're your real family, biologically. You're my real family too. You raised me. You're my brother. But I'm not really your brother. We're not related. We are related, just not by blood, by history, by love, by choice. That sounds like something you tell yourself to make it less painful. Maybe it was, but it was also true. Surgery day came. Both families showed up at the hospital. It was awkward. My two mothers meeting for the first time in 29 years. My two families occupying the same waiting room. Patricia went in for her surgery first. They removed her kidney. Then I went in. They gave me her kidney. When I woke up, both my mothers were in the recovery room, standing on opposite sides of my bed. How do you feel? My mom asked. Tired, sore, alive. The surgery went perfectly, Patricia said. The kidney started functioning immediately. Thank you for doing this. You don't have to thank me. Yes, I do. You gave me a piece of yourself. You saved my life. Both women had tears in their eyes, for different reasons. One because she could help, one because she couldn't. 6 months later. It's been 6 months since the surgery, 6 months of recovery, 6 months of navigating 2 families, 6 months of trying to figure out who I am. Patricia's kidney is working perfectly. My doctors are thrilled. I feel better than I have in years. I see the Reynolds family regularly now. Patricia and I have a bond that's hard to explain. She gave me a literal piece of herself. That creates a connection that goes beyond biology. Sophie and I are friends. Not sisters exactly, but friends. We text, we meet for coffee, we're getting to know each other slowly. Michael is a sweet kid who calls me his sister even though we barely know each other. I'm working on building a relationship with him. James is kind and thoughtful. He tells me stories about his mother, my biological grandmother, shows me photos, helps me understand where I came from genetically. But my legal family is struggling. My mom is distant. She feels replaced, even though I tell her constantly that she's not. My dad tries to be supportive, but I can tell he's hurt. Ryan and Meg are confused about what our relationship even is anymore. The truth damaged us, maybe permanently. I'm in therapy twice a week, working through identity issues, attachment issues, trust issues, all the issues that come with finding out your entire life was based on a lie. Do you wish you'd never found out? My therapist asked last week. I don't know. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. What would be different if you didn't know? I'd still think I was Lauren Harris, daughter of Michael and Susan, sister to Ryan and Meg. I'd know exactly who I was. And now? Now I'm Lauren Harris legally, Lauren Reynolds biologically. And somewhere in the middle, I'm just Lauren. And I have no idea who that is. Maybe that's okay. Maybe you get to decide who Lauren is without the constraints of biology or legality. Just you. Maybe. But that's easier said than done. I have 2 mothers, 2 families, 2 identities, and I'm supposed to somehow merge them into one coherent person. Some days I think I can do it. Some days I think I'll never figure it out. The hospital switched me with another baby 32 years ago. That single mistake rippled through decades, created 2 families living with the wrong children, created a lie that everyone agreed to maintain, and when the lie finally came out, it destroyed everything. I'm grateful for Patricia's kidney. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to have met my biological family. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't resent all of them for keeping this secret. For deciding when I was 3 years old that I didn't deserve to know the truth. They thought they were protecting me. Instead, they took away my choice, my agency, my right to know my own story. Now I have to live with 2 families, 2 histories, 2 versions of who I was supposed to be, and somehow find a way to be just one person. I'm trying. Some days are better than others, but I'll never forgive the hospital that switched us. I'll never forgive the adults who decided lies were better than truth, and I'll never get back the 32 years I spent not knowing who I really was. Update, it's been a year now since I found out. Patricia and I are close. She's like a second mom, though I don't call her that. My legal mom and I are in family therapy, trying to repair our relationship. It's slow progress. Sophie just told me she's pregnant with her 2nd child. I'm going to be an aunt again, to my biological niece or nephew. Michael graduates high school next year and asked if I'd come to his graduation. I said yes. As for my legal siblings, Ryan and I barely talk. Meg is trying, but it's awkward. We're all just figuring this out one day at a time. I'm learning that family is complicated. Biology matters, but so does history, and love, and choice. I'm trying to honor all of it. Some days I succeed, some days I don't. But at least now I know the truth. Even if the truth is messy and painful and complicated, at least it's real.